Hi guys, Alexander Dunlop here, and I'm here to do my weekly wisdom call. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and just finding a quiet place, sitting outside in the Airbnb place that we're renting. For those of you who have been following along, I've been on a wonderful family trip through Oregon, and I'm about to do some hiking and go to see a waterfall today, and wanted to pause to share the weekly message. This week we're playing the Eight of Diamonds. That is the energy in play this week. There are 52 cards in this deck of 52, and there are 52 weeks in the year. Each week is a card to play. These cards are symbols and patterns that give us a conceptual, mental framework of the energy patterns in play. So it gives us something to mentally connect to so that we can mentally construct the lives that we want based on understanding what these patterns are. Right, so that we're not flying blind, so we're not stumbling around in the dark. We have a clear mental map with which to construct and build the life that we want. Right? So each week is a different energy pattern in play, and it's a little bit like understanding what's the weather pattern. By understanding what the weather pattern is, we might choose to wear sunscreen or carry an umbrella. Bring a warm winter coat or bring our bathing suit. By understanding these patterns, we understand how to be prepared and what to look for, what to notice, what to avoid, what to maximize. And then it gives us the clarity to understand when things happen, of why things are unfolding the way that they are. So this week we're playing the Eight of Diamonds, and this is the energy pattern in play. It's symbolized by this pattern. And the eight, in many cultures, is a symbol of good luck and good fortune. So having the eight energy present is a symbol of good fortune and good luck. So you want to be on the lookout for that this week. The eight energy, is also the symbol of healing and well-being. It's the two snakes woven around the caduceus. So this is a symbol of finding harmony, finding balance. So I encourage you to look for harmony and balance this week. Thing about this energy pattern, if you notice, this is always a fun exercise, is to notice where the eight is actually in this pattern. And if you look closely, you'll see that the eight is in the in-between space, in the white space. And this is a very important representation for us to understand as we're endeavoring to play our cards right, is that there must be space for the energy to flow. If we're constricting or tying things up too tightly, then we're going to make a mess. We're going to get the ball of yarn all tied up into knots. We're going to get our life tied up into knots. Our relationships, our plans, our activities will get all gnarled up and tied up into knots if we try too hard, and if we work too hard at it, if we're too tenacious, if we're too stubborn, if we're too insistent. Hello. Hi, Vicky. Vicky's joining in the call, and I can see my son behind me there in the window. And this is really important to know, because being stubborn and insistent and tenacious are usually things that we associate with getting our goals, right? If you're any follower of peak performance strategies or the typical kind of self-help coaching, it's all about get your goal and go for it. And, don't let anything get in your way kind of thing. But if you're trying that with the Eight of Diamonds energy present, you can see my kids in the background. If you try that with the Eight of Diamonds energy present, you're going to get yourself tied up in knots. This is an energy of flow and harmony. This isn't an energy of force and insistence. So if you want good luck and good fortune this week, then don't be too insistent or too forceful, because you're only going to get yourself tied up in knots and get constricted. Got like a little birdie on my shoulder over there. So to play this one well, you want to finesse. You want to find your flow. You want to be in harmony. You don't want to be pushing and forcing and insisting, because you're only going to get all tied up in knots and get constricted. It's about taking a deep breath. It's about relaxing and settling into the flow of the way things are. You know, I had that experience myself this morning. I was getting a little bit stressed about where am I going to sit to do this call, and I didn't really want to go outside, I must say. But being in the flow of what is, I'm like, okay, so this is what's present. I'm going to accept it. I'm not going to force it to try to be something else. Got my hat on because that's what's in the flow right now. I had my hat on. I'm not going to try to change to make it something other than what it is. Accepting what's in the flow, right? Being in the flow of what is. And this is what's present right now for me, is to be sitting here and with my hat on and doing the call for you in this way. So I encourage you to find your own flow and be in the flow this week. Now, the opposite side of being too insistent and too forceful is being too lethargic and being too much in the laziness of, I'm just gonna go with the flow, bro. Just flow, man. And then you may lose your opportunity because you're not actually taking action to curve it and finesse it the way you want it to be. And two little angels joining in to share their energy as well. So in between being totally lethargic and lazy and not doing anything, and being too controlling and micromanaging and insisting, is being in this perfect harmony and this perfect flow. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for, how can you find everything in a nice, even, harmonious balance. And as I said, this is the ancient and the very real and true understanding of physical health and well-being. When we have dis-ease, disease, it's when we're out of harmony and out of balance. So we're looking for an ease of being, a flow, a harmony. This is in Ayurvedic medicine, in Chinese medicine, finding our flow, finding our harmony. And the Eight of Diamonds is about finding this flow in the material world. Diamonds is the material world. So that means in our bodies, it means in our finances, it means in our homes, it means in everything that we value, the things that matter most to us. We want to find harmony and ease of being. And it's like we want to feng shui our life and have an even flow and harmonious flow in our whole life. And what I'm going to be looking out for this week personally is not being too insistent or too forceful, trying to make things go the way I expect or perceive that they should. I'm going to be looking for ways for how I can flow around the obstacles of my path, how I can create a flow around whatever seems to apparently block my path. That's what I'm going to be looking for this week, and I encourage you to do the same. And as you may know, depending on where this Eight of Diamonds shows up in your personal life path, you're going to have a different flavor this week. Right? And if you want to know what your life path is, you can get my book, Play Your Cards Right, A Sacred Guide to Life on Earth. Vicky's chiming in. That's right. Sometimes we can get tied up in knots and we actually feel it physically in our organs and in our gut. Diamonds is a symbol of the gut area. So if you get tied up in knots this week, you may actually feel it physically in your body. You may physically feel tied up in knots. So you want to be aware of that And that'll be a strong signal to you that you've gotten yourself in your life tied up in knots, because the body is a microcosm which will reflect the reality back to us. So if the body is tied up in knots, then something in your life is also tied up in knots. So this is a good week to really trust the wisdom of your body and be in the flow in your physical body in order to be in flow in your whole life. And Marty is saying that he feels tied up in knots in his mind. Well, yes, and you're born to play the 3 of clubs, Marty. So your energy is primarily mental. For you, it is about, with the physical body being the vessel for the mind, then it is for you about focusing on how you can physically, in your physical body, bring more harmony and balance. Maybe through your diet or through exercise, just going for a walk to clear your head. My suggestion for you will be that as you find ease and flow in your physical body, then your mind will also find harmony. And I hear my daughter giggling in the background. So, as always, good luck playing your cards right. This is the metaphysical truth of our reality. Unbeknownst to most people as of yet, hopefully that'll change soon, so that we can all be aware of what is the metaphysical reality of this construct that we find ourselves in. You're welcome, Marty. So what I ask you to do is, if this resonates with you, please share this with your friends and family. What you'll find is that as more people in your life are consciously playing their cards right, it helps you to play your cards right. And you have more mirroring effect, more support energetically and even verbally from people who you love and care about. So I encourage you to share this ancient wisdom with the people in your life so that you have more resonance and more support to play your cards right. So you could share this video, for example, and invite you people who you love to get to know this knowledge that's found in this deck of 52, so that you can have more support in your life to play your cards right. That would be one way to find a nice flow and a nice harmony in your life, to weave together all the different aspects of your life. In other words, don't try to do it all alone. Find a community of support where you can flow and weave together what's important in your life. Right? So think about for a moment everything that's important to you in your life, everything that really matters to you. And that, I'm sure, includes your relationships. So you want to find a flow and a harmony in your relationships. And the best way that I know how to do that is by sharing this ancient wisdom, so we can understand each other's patterns, and then we can have a common language to talk about what's happening for us. Who is going to believe it? I was a skeptic too. Once upon a time I didn't believe it, but we share it and we talk about it, and the truth is in the pudding, right? The proof is in the pudding. When people see the truth of their cards, it's undeniable. So what you can do is have people look up their birth card on my website at lifeelevated.life. This is the nonprofit foundation I started to share this ancient wisdom. So you can introduce people to their birth card on my website. And I was skeptical too in the beginning. But again, the proof is in the pudding. And so thank you for supporting me in my mission to share this knowledge with everyone, so we can all weave together a more harmonious society, right? That's the bigger picture of this. So we can weave harmonious communities, societies, economics, politics, right? It gets big right away. As we weave our own lives together, then we can weave a more beautiful tapestry for all of us. So thank you for your support in helping to do that. And as always, may you live your life like it's your favorite game to play. I mean, how would you live if you knew that your life was your favorite game to play?